Our chief reporter, Kaveh Solokol, has come back on set. Kaveh, oh my goodness. How do you react to that?
Well, look, the first thing you should say is that referees are human beings. They make mistakes like everybody else. They were working there in a very highly pressurised environment, and they made a mistake, and it was a big mistake.
Arsenal fans were left seething on a dramatic Champions League night after what many are calling one of the most egregious officiating oversights of the season. In a match packed with intensity, physical battles, and high stakes, the moment that overshadowed everything came when Viktor Gyökeres was brutally brought down in the penalty area, yet the referee shockingly waved play on, and VAR chose not to intervene. What should have been a clear turning point instead spiraled into a firestorm of controversy, leaving Arsenal feeling robbed and supporters across the world demanding answers. The incident unfolded in the 62nd minute, just as Arsenal were beginning to seize control of the game. Gyökeres, who had been causing havoc for the opposition defence all night with his strength, pace, and relentless movement, received a sharp through ball across the box. As he tried to shift his body to shoot, the defender lunged in recklessly, clattering into him with a force that sent the striker tumbling. Replays showed unmistakable contact, a high, dangerous challenge that caught Gyökeres' ankle before the defender made any attempt to play the ball. The Arsenal bench immediately erupted, Arteta throwing his arms up in disbelief, while the travelling supporters screamed for a penalty. But instead of pointing to the spot, the referee gestured for play to continue, insisting there was no foul. The disbelief was palpable. Gyökeres remained on the ground clutching his ankle, stunned by both the challenge and the lack of protection from the officials. Yet the greatest frustration came moments later when VAR completed a surprisingly brief check and confirmed the on-field decision. No review on the pitch side monitor, no extended analysis, no attempt to verify what millions watching at home could clearly see. It was as though the entire episode had been brushed aside. From that moment, Arsenal's mentality shifted. Outrage simmered across the pitch, players visibly rattled by the sense of injustice. The match, already on a knife edge, now carried an emotional weight that affected the Gunners' rhythm. Gyökeres, although able to continue, was not the same explosive force he had been before the foul. The opposition took advantage of Arsenal's anger and frustration, snapping into duels and slowing the tempo deliberately, knowing the referee had already set a worrying precedent. After the match, the reaction was immediate and explosive. Arsenal fans flooded social media with clips of the foul, demanding accountability and transparency. Pundits on multiple networks unanimously agreed it was a stonewall penalty, with some calling it one of the clearest fouls you will ever see ignored at Champions League level. Former referees weighed in too, stating that VAR's failure to intervene was inexplicable, especially given the high studs, late timing and intensity of the challenge. Mikel Arteta did not hold back in his post-match comments either. Clearly furious, he stated that the decision was unacceptable at this level and that Arsenal cannot be subjected to refereeing standards that fall this far below what the competition demands. He emphasized that Gyökeres was dangerously close to suffering a serious injury and that the lack of VAR review raised serious questions about consistency and fairness. While careful not to violate UEFA protocols, his tone conveyed the deep frustration felt by the club. Gyökeres himself spoke briefly, admitting he was shocked the foul wasn't given. He revealed that the impact left his ankle swollen and that he struggled to push off properly in the final minutes of the game. "I don't know how it's not a penalty," he said. "I felt the hit clearly. I tried to continue, but it definitely affected me." UEFA officials, as expected, released a short, vague statement noting that the VAR team had reviewed the footage and found no clear and obvious error. But the explanation did little to calm the storm. Fans and analysts derided the wording, arguing that if such a blatant foul didn't meet the threshold, then the system itself was broken. For Arsenal, this controversy adds yet another chapter to a growing catalogue of high-stakes decisions going against them in major European fixtures. The sense of injustice lingers, not only because the penalty could have changed the entire outcome of the match, but because of the lasting implications. If challenges that dangerous are ignored, what message does it send to players? What hope is there for consistency if VAR refuses to correct clear mistakes? As debates rage on, one thing is certain: Arsenal were left feeling utterly robbed. A brutal foul went unpunished, the referee turned away, VAR stayed silent, and the Champions League once again found itself at the center of controversy. For the fans, for Gyökeres, and for a furious Mikel Arteta, this will not be forgotten anytime soon.